Now, as I was saying before, I could go for another national championship. I think that I could, you know, have a chance to put it together. But at what risk? It doesn't pay me any money. It doesn't make, I mean, and this is what Deontay Wilder has to weigh out, and the athlete knows. I talked about Eddie Hall. I talked about my own lifting. We can get a little bit more into that, but I want to set the table right here. And now I have this article in front of me. And this is by FoxNews.com many hours ago, Ryan Gatos, and the headline is, quote, headline, Deontay Wilder blames 40-pound pre-bout costume for Tyson Fury defeat. I'm sorry, that just doesn't, like, there's just, I'm not down with that. I don't agree with that. I don't believe that. It's simple as that. I don't believe that. Now, could you say it may have a little bit of an effect? Maybe. But here's the quotes from Wilder. Quote, he didn't hurt me at all, my ad, meaning Tyson Fury. Wrong, dude. We saw you really hurt. Okay, sorry, but we'll get back to that. Quote, he didn't hurt me at all, but the simple fact is, that my uniform was way too heavy for me, unquote. Quote, I didn't have no legs from the beginning of the fight. In the third round, my legs were just shot all the way through. But I'm a warrior, and people know that I'm a warrior. I could easily be told that I didn't have legs or anything. A lot of people were telling me, quote, it looked like something's wrong with you, unquote. Something was, but when you're in the ring, you have to bluff a lot of things. I tried my best to do so. I knew I didn't have legs because of my uniform, unquote. Wow. I mean, wow. Deontay Wilder, I'm trying to get the right angle here for this video. Deontay Wilder, are you out of your mind, dude? Like, I get it. I get it, you have to believe what you have to believe. I get that you have to try to come up with a rationale for that next fight if you're going to take it. And it looks like, based upon this, that he's probably going to take it. There's an awful lot of money, and it keeps himself in the mix. I understand. I understand the business reasons. I understand the personal reasons. I understand the mental reasons for wanting to take it. But, bro, you're really trying to sell that fight off your uniform? You're walking, I've never heard this before. Are you really trying to sell that? That doesn't work. That wouldn't work for, I mean, I'm totally blanking. There's that other dude that always had the crazy entrances, and he was like, he was in Mayweather's division. Why am I? Prince, I can't remember. Is a British guy, and Amir Khan. And there was another, but I think it was Amir Khan, that would have these crazy walkouts. There's a bunch of, a bunch of fighters. You want to sell that when you're like $140, $150? I mean, maybe I'll listen a little bit. When you're trying to sell that as the quote baddest person on the planet, okay, and you're 240, 6'6", I'm not listening to that. I'm sorry, Deontay, I'm not listening to that. And if that is even remotely accurate, then you and your camp are ridiculous. You didn't check that out. You didn't say, oh, and someone didn't, nobody, this is pretty heavy. Maybe this doesn't make sense. You never practiced it. Nobody ever tried that on. I mean, I just can't, I cannot believe that. You're crazy. This is not the same thing, but I mean, it's not too dissimilar. How many wrestlers? You see the entrances they have? There's all kinds of get-ups that they have, and there's all kinds of, you have dudes that are coming up through the ring. You have dudes that came down to the ring. You have, Goldberg in the Sparks entrance and the smoke and all that. You have all kinds of different things that happen. The Undertaker, his entrance, he's got the cape, he's got the different get-ups. I mean, you've got all kinds of, they compete. John, that's different. That's just not, okay, I guess. I'm not buying that in the least. You have to be out of your mind if you want to try to sell that Deontay Wilder. Like, give me a break. It's not happening, dude. But I mean, this is what he's selling right now. I mean, get it. And then he's upset about Breland throwing in the towel. Mark Breland. Quote, we had many discussions for years about the situation, and for him to still do it after Jay, that's the head trainer, told him not to do it, it really hurts me, unquote. Quote, and then I heard he was influenced by another fighter in the audience, and it makes a lot of conspiracy theories in your head why he did it. It didn't make sense, unquote. Deontay, here's a news flash. It made perfect sense. You were hurt, bro. You were getting stung. You were getting dropped. How many times were you down in that fight? Like 3? Maybe 4? I gotta double check. I mean, you were getting dropped by body shots. You got dropped, you know, by that 1-2 from Fury. You were getting stung, dude. You were busted up. You did not look stable at all. Sorry. And again, you're contradicting yourself. You said that you had no legs because of your costume, but they shouldn't have stopped the fight. What? Like, it just, hello? Come on, dude. I get it. I know you need reasons. I get it. You need reasons for yourself. You need reasons for the fans to try to sell this fight, but you're not making any sense. You're not. And you know, maybe that's the difference, too. That's another difference that I would say. And again, it's so great to have Brett Romberg on this station because, you know, he has such insight to South Florida sports, South Florida football, the NFL. I mean, you know, he's been in there so long. He understands things that I'll never understand. I've been around a lot of professional football players and trained professional football players and trained professional baseball players, etc., and all that. But it's very different. I think I can give you insight that's maybe a bit unique here. Yes, you train yourself, obviously. As an athlete, you know yourself, obviously. But you're in a team sport. And it's a different deal, right? My best sports were individual sports. Powerlifting, wrestling, judo. And wrestling and judo are very similar in a lot of ways. The difference with judo is you've got a gi, you can use submissions, you know, locks, breaks, things like that, and chokes, and throws. Well, but you can still throw in wrestling. Quite frankly, I did it a lot. But it's really the gis and the submissions. And it's all on you, is the point. When you're in football, even if you go to Super Bowl, you lose, you can blame everybody. You can blame everybody else in the world. You can blame your quarterback. If you're the quarterback, you can blame the line. You can blame the coach. You can blame the assistant coaches. You can blame the refs. You can blame you can blame everybody. You can blame everybody else. Believe me. You can blame. There's all kinds of people to blame. Everywhere. Trainers. You can blame. There's a ton of people to blame. But when you are in an individual sport, particularly a combat sport, you really don't have anybody. There's nobody to blame. There's nobody in that ring with you, Deontay. It's just you, brother. There's nobody else in that. There was nobody on that lifting platform with me. It was just me. There was nobody in that wrestling mat besides me. It was just me and my opponent. There's nobody to blame. So as someone that's reached the heights of an individual sport, I get it. Believe me, I get it. I get it in a way that maybe nobody else, you know, that's going to be on the airwaves in South Florida is going to be able to get it. I get it. Deontay, I hope you're just trying to sell a fight, and I hope you don't believe that. I hope you don't believe that, because if you believe that, that's a dangerous road, dude. That's a dangerous road. I mean, we can come up with it was the same thing with lifting. I didn't like the bar. Oh yeah. I mean, and listen, perfect example. I mean, I've recounted this. I don't have time right now. I put myself together in terms of like mess myself up. That's what it's a shorthand for that. Slang for that. I messed myself up it's not quite, that's not quite the meaning of the same. It works enough. Before I won my first national championship in Norman, Oklahoma, I stayed up all night. I basically fell asleep in the hotel lobby. I've told the story before. I'm gonna shortchange it right now. We'll pick it up later. And I was wrecked. I was trying to compete with no sleep whatsoever. Effectively no sleep, not literally no sleep, but very, very little sleep. And it clearly affected me, as you would expect. Still won. Still pulled it together. Deontay Wilder, do not blame your costume. You're listening to John Villarreal on the John Villarreal Show.